Hello everybody, welcome to the show. It's time for another Dota 2 amateur cast where we will pick a random team game that is in pre-game from the list of live games. Some amateur teams, and I will cast the game, try and give some amateur teams some good exposure, so hopefully they can get a little recognition, maybe enter some tournaments and stuff in the future, and also hopefully bring you, the viewers, some exciting and interesting Dota with some picks and stuff that you don't usually see in the competitive scene due to the generally stale meta. So, looks like right here we've got one in pregame on the first page of the live team game, so we'll probably hop right into that. Team Kitty Fajal versus Master Baiters. This should be a good one, so let's jump right in. Interesting teammates always help to spice things up. Excuse me. Okay, we've hopped right in. We're almost at the end of the draft here, so we will do a little catch-up. Looks like Master Baiters will be playing on the Dire side, and they have banned Venomancer, Crystal Maiden, Juggernaut, and Luna, and they just picked up Viper for their final ban. On the other side, on the Radiant, we've got Kitty Fajal. They've banned out Alchemist, Visage, Gyrocopter, Clinks, and Sand King. Our picks so far on the Dire side, we've got Nature's Prophet, Jakiro, Marana, and Disruptor, while the Radiant side has picked up Shen, Timbersaw, Bane, and Storm Spirit. So it looks like for their final pick here, the Radiant is probably going to be looking for a hard carry, and I believe that is also what the Dire is going to be looking for as well. We've most likely got Bane as a support, Storm Spirit in the middle lane, Timbersaw off lane with Chen in his usual jungle role. So I imagine they're looking for a farmer right now. And the Dire side is in a pretty similar situation. Furion in the jungle, Potom most likely going to be off lane, though she could also middle. Maybe Furion off lane, and we've got Jakiro and Disruptor for supports likely, though they could be doing something interesting like running Disruptor or Jakiro middle. So we'll see what the Radiant wants to pick up for their final pick here, most likely going to be a carry. And they pick up Naga Siren. I would love to see them run this as a carry. I really think Naga should be played as a carry. In the game yesterday, we saw her played as a support. Hopefully we might see something a little different this game. That would be interesting. I think Naga makes a great carry as well as a support, but I prefer her in the carry role. See what Master Baiters wants to pick up for their last pick here. And they pick up a Queen of Pain, so they're not really going to pick up a traditional hard farmer. Neither team's really going for any of the usual farmer picks, so we'll see how they're going to lane right now. They've got a lot of options. And we will run down the teams. On the Radiant side, we're going to have Chen played by OK Sia. We'll just call him OK. We've got Timbersaw played by Mal, Storm Spirit played by Ipel, and Naga Siren played by Sohn. Oh, let's see, I guess they both have Ipel tags. So Storm, excuse me, is actually being played by Ethne, maybe that says, with Bane being played by Marjolina. And it looks like we are actually going to have a farming Storm Spirit, and most likely Naga Siren middle. So let's see how the Dire is going to run things. Feeder is playing the Queen of Pain. The Marana will be played by Man Egg. Matu will be playing the Nature's Prophet, and he is heading towards that off lane with the Priestess of the Moon heading top. And we've got the Disruptor played by Musi and the Jakiro played by Mikami, both heading into the Radiant jungle right now. Probably going to do some camp blocking. Indeed, Jakiro does go for the Magic Push Ward to block both camps, this camp and this camp. So that'll hamper the Chen a little bit, but he does have a Sentry Ward. And we'll see whether or not he dewards this, and indeed he will. Nature's Prophet going to be trying to use his Trance to do some blocking as well, though. And we'll see if he uses that other Sentry to try and deward the Rune Ward here. Got a double damage rune for the starting rune bottom. So it looks like our final lane positions will be Mirana and Jakiro in the top lane for the Dire, with Disruptor up there as well, possibly going to be doing some pulling. Furion will be soloing the off lane for the Dire with the Queen of Pain middle, and we do have the Naga Siren middle for the Radiant. That should actually be a fairly even matchup. Queen of Pain obviously can harass significantly better than Naga Siren, but Riptide is very good for last hitting, does a good chunk of damage, and pushes the lane well. Up at the top, this Timbersaw versus Potom and Jakiro with Disruptor support. Timbersaw might struggle here a little bit, not sure how much CS he's going to be able to pick up, but he should be at least able to stay close enough for experience. And Furion has already moved to the jungle, so Storm Spirit will be uncontested down in this lane, and we may start seeing some roaming from the Bane to combo up with this Chen fairly early. Obviously, Bane's Nightmare makes a great setup for things like Centaur stuns from the Chen. So I don't see a super exciting lane phase happening. I don't think there's a lot of kill potential in many of the lanes. I think the most likely first blood will probably be a roam from that Bane and Shen. Might even be able to pick up that Queen of Pain. I don't think this top lane will be able to kill the Timbersaw unless he misplays, and the Storm Spirit obviously isn't going to kill anyone because there is no one in his lane. I'm not sure how I feel about these laning choices from the Dire side. I think Storm Spirit uncontested free farm is going to be quite problematic for them, as they do not have a whole lot of lockdown without landing a Mirana arrow. It's going to be hard to catch Storm with an Ice Path or to catch him inside Disruptor's skills. We could see some fairly early aggression towards this top Radiant tower from the Dire if Furion wants to come help this tri-lane. And it looks like they are making a play for this Timbersaw right now. He's come quite a bit forward, and they may be able to pick him up, and they do. Disruptor draws the first blood. I didn't think it would happen up there, but Timbersaw just got a little too greedy wanting to pick up some CS. He should have probably just played it safe and hang back. The Disruptor picks up a first blood, which could lead to some early boots for him or some more wards for the team, and there he does pick up some boots of speed. See how our other lanes are going. As I thought, this lane middle is quite even. The Naga Siren actually taking a slight CS edge. That Riptide is just really good for last hitting. Storm Spirit leading the board and farm in his uncontested lane bottom, but Naga Siren actually nearly keeping up with him mid, so these lanes are going quite well for the Radiant, except for the first blood that the Dire picked up top. So hopefully that will be enough of a momentum for the Dire to make up for the way the other lanes are going. We do have the Naga Siren being initiated on middle here, good glimpse from Disruptor, and they may be able to take her down. One more tick from the poison, and Disruptor actually managed to snag the last hit with an auto attack. So that's 2 kills already on the board for Disruptor. Dire needs to be a little careful there. Nearly lost their courier to the Radiant Towers. It was bringing something to the Queen of Pain. Looks like some boots of speed. So Dire already on the board with 2 kills, making good use of their supports, roaming around. That was a good rotation in the middle, catch out the Naga Siren. Radiant does actually not have an Observer Ward on the top rune spot, so that was a very easy roam for the Dire supports. The Radiant had no way of seeing them coming. But still, this Storm Spirit getting absolute free farm in the bottom lane could be scary if he goes for a fast Orchid or something like that. Despite the death, Naga Siren still leading the quad by about 4 or 5 CS here in the middle lane. See how our net worths are doing. The Storm in the lead, unsurprisingly. It's Potom doing quite well for herself, the Mirana. She is also in a lane that's basically free farm, though her CS is quite a few behind the Storm Sphere, but she does have an assist from that kill they picked up on the Timbersaw. And now we've got some aggression coming on the bottom lane. Makings of a push down here with this Wildkin from the Chen. They're going to put some pressure on this tier 1 for the Dire. And without support, I don't know if Furion is going to be able to hold this alone. Chen is positioning the Wildkin in the back and may start a tornado for the next creep wave, but it looks like he's just going to send it up to keep autoing. And they should be able to bring down this tower right now. We do have another roam heading middle though. Naga Siren gets off to sleep though, so she should be able to walk out of there just fine, and the bottom tower does in fact go down. So the Dire picked up the first 2 kills, but the Radiant have managed to take the first tower, and their Storm Spirit is very, very farmed right now. Doing very well on the CS. And did he last hit that tower? He did indeed. He got the last hit on that tower as well, so he's sitting very, very nice on money. This Timbersaw could be in a lot of trouble here. He's going aggressive on the Priestess of the Moon, but Disruptor and Jakiro are coming up from the back, and he missed his first Timber Chain and Whirling Death. Did manage to connect with the second Timber Chain, but he may be a goner here. Timber Chain's out again. That reactive armor doing some work for him. But another Ice Path, and manages to pick up the Disruptor as well. Timbersaw so powerful in that op lane. Disruptor's cooldowns are popped, so he couldn't do that last bit of damage on the Timbersaw. Timbersaw will pick up 2 for nothing. Get away with it. Bane rotating towards the middle. Naga Siren's got a double damage right now, but without the Fiend's Grip, they're most likely not going to be able to kill that Queen of Pain without a secondary stun from a Chen Centaur or something. Storm continuing to pressure this bottom lane. This Furion is hurting quite a bit. Only 19 CS on the Furion, nearly 7 minutes into the game. Doesn't have a Midas recipe or even a Gloves of Haste or anything yet, so he really needs to play some catch up now. Potom and Jakiro putting some pressure on top. Jakiro's Liquid Fire, great for pushing towers. We'll see if he wants to use it on the tower. Though we may just save it for any incoming heroes. There he throws the Liquid Fire on the tower. Jakiro, very underrated pusher, I think. Liquid Fire is incredibly strong, and in the upcoming patch in a few days, Liquid Fire is getting buffed by 5 damage per second at every level, so it will be even stronger. Damaging buildings as well as lowering the attack speed of towers. Very strong pushing skill. Bane's rotated all the way up to the top lane now. He's hurting a bit for experience, sitting at only level 7. Quap is the highest level on the board at 8. Got an arrow that will connect with a ranged creep. And a little bit of an exchange. Timbersaw should be able to pick up this Jakiro, doing a lot of bursty pure damage. And the Bane will also get out. That Ice Path not managing to set anything up for the Dire. And the Timbersaw picks himself up another kill. He's up to 3-1. Despite getting killed for that first blood, he's done a great job of coming back in that lane. Dire just not really respecting the power of the Timbersaw up there quite enough. Timbersaw now tied for the highest level in the game as an offlaner. Furion is going to pick up some power treads. He's got the full treads. He just needs to have those Gloves of Haste brought out to him. Naga Siren not doing too bad. She's fallen back quite a bit on the CS. She was right up there at the top for a while, but has fallen back quite a bit. But this Storm Spirit with this uncontested lane is going to cause a lot of problems, and he is going for an Orchid here early. He's already picked up one of the Oblivion staffs. He has a more than 20 CS lead over the next farmer, which is the Potom on the Dire side. So Ethne having a really good time on this Storm Spirit. Got some pressure here coming towards top, but they really need to be careful with that Timbersaw, especially now that he's managed to pick up a couple kills. He's quite scary, especially to those low health heroes like the Disruptor and the Potom. Mikami should be okay on the Jakiro as long as he doesn't get too cocky. Jakiro with that high health pool compared to the other heroes, very tanky, intelligent support. Naga Siren using these illusions to do a little bit of zoning on the Queen of Pain. Gonna pick up 3 CS and some harass on the Queen of Pain with that one Riptide. Got an exchange going on top here. The Bane will get hit by an arrow and eventually taken out, but the Timber Saw takes out the Jakiro and the Disruptor as well. I'm not sure if that ultimate actually hit on the Disruptor from the Quap. It might have gone wide left, and they should be able to back up now just fine. So the Timber Saw picks up another 2 kills. He's on a mega kill streak now, and they only lose the Bane for it. So this Timber Saw really coming through for him in the top here after giving up that first blood. Obviously, we're still very early in the game here, but things are looking a little bad here for the masturbators on the Dire side. GG really getting quite a bit done here in this early game. Despite giving up those first 2 kills, they're now up 5-3 with all 5 of those kills being on the Timber Saw. Priestess of the Moon doing decent on the Dire side, but not super great. She's died once, and she just doesn't have the CS that this Storm Spirit does, and a Fiend's Grip will be an easy kill there on the Priestess of the Moon with Timber Saw's damage to follow up. This Timber Saw is getting really scary through kills, and the Storm Spirit is getting really scary through farm. He's nearly got enough for his second Oblivion Staff, so we should see an Orchid or out of him if he continues farming sometime around the 16-minute mark, possibly. And it looks like he is just going to head back bottom and keep farming until he gets to that Orchid. That will be really scary for heroes like Queen of Pain and Potom. That'll get rid of their escape mechanism, and they should be easy pickings for that Storm Spirit. Got a little pressure coming towards the Dire middle tower now. Chen sending the Naga Siren back to the base, though, actually. Applying a little pressure with this Hellbear Smasher, and does have a Wildkin doing the Tornado Dance in the back there. Tornado about to expire. Let's see what sort of items we've got going on our heroes. Chen has already picked up a mechanism for the Radiant. Pretty nice, since he also has the Basilius and boots already. Got a Priestess of the Moon ultimate here. They might be able to set something up, but it could also just be defensive as well for the middle. Disruptor going to pop a kinetic field, but that's not going to accomplish much. Storm making a play for this Priestess of the Moon, but she leaps away under the cover of her ultimate. But she needs to be careful now with her leap on cooldown, and she is going to back up. Oh, sorry about that. Missed a kill on the top lane. Bane managed to kill the Jakiro. First kill for GG that isn't on the Timber Saw. And it looks like Timber Saw is going to be able to TP out here. That kill actually happened in this area behind the tower. So I imagine Timber Saw just dived in, and they probably finished her off with a Bane Brain Sap. Radiant does manage to take out Dire's middle tower now as well. Taking the middle and bottom tier 1s, whereas the Dire has not managed to take out a single tower from the Radiant yet. Things are really looking scary for the Dire at this point. As far as items on other heroes goes, we've got a Perseverance up on the Timber Saw. He may be able to pick off this Nature's Prophet here. Whirling Death and Timber chaining through, and this Nature's Prophet should be a dead hero here. And he is an easy kill for the Timber Saw with no TP support for that Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet obviously unable to stop the Timber Saw with trees. Good gank into the Radiant jungle though. Jakiro, Disruptor, and Queen of Pain managed to pick up the Chen and both of his Centaurs. So a little activity there from the Dire. This Timber Saw is a Perseverance heading towards a Bloodstone most likely. Got 4 heroes from the Dire now at the bottom. I'm going to probably try and put some pressure on this tower unless somebody wants to try and defend top. But with Storm Spirit porting out to the middle lane to continue farming, they should be able to take this tower, but they're going to lose their top tower as well. So all 3 tier 1s are down now for the Dire. The Storm Spirit at nearly 100 CS. We've got Naga Siren TPing in, and she did have her song going, and this could be very bad depending on how quick Timber Saw can get in. Quite a delayed TP there though, due to the other heroes also TPing in, and with the Priestess of the Moon ult, they may be able to escape. And Jakiro's Macro Pyre picking up that Bane. Bane must have just been unable to get out of it in time. But in the end, the Radiant Team GG do take the Dire top tower and manage to defend their own bottom tier 1. Naga Siren saving up a lot of gold, I just noticed. She has 3,300 gold. She may be going for a Radiant still. Wouldn't be too bad if she can continue getting a pretty good farm here. Bane Elemental, Arcane Boots, Sentries, some Smoke and a Wand. Pretty normal stuff there. Storm Spirit does have his Orchid. A little before that 16-minute mark even. They did manage to pick up that other tower, so that helped them out. Over on the Dire side, Queen of Pain is working towards an Orchid of her own, but she still needs to finish the second Oblivion Staff and get the recipe, so she's a ways off from that. And if the Storm manages to start picking her off, that could be really bad news for her. She's very squishy at this point. With their treads on intelligence, not even 800 health, that's an easy kill for an Orchid Storm. Disruptor's really hurting, only brown boots up on him. Nearly 1,000 gold though, so we might be going for some Arcanes. Priestess of the Moon has picked up an ultimate orb on top of her phase boots and has 700 gold in the bank. Nature's Prophet, he really hasn't been doing the coming back that he needed to do. He's 0-1 with only 50 CS and no Hand of Midas, so he is quite poor for a Nature's Prophet at this point. He's working towards a mechanism, nearly has it. And we do have a smoke here from the Radiant heading up towards the middle lane. And he is going to turn back. And the whole Dire team is clumped up around the Dire Ancients right now. Furion taking those out. They smoke, but Furion was throwing auto attacks and so instantly lost the smoke. That doesn't matter much for him since he can just TP into wherever they go. And there's 4 going down here. Each team going through the other team's jungle, and this Timbersaw senses it and he may just TP out here. Could be in big trouble if he doesn't, and it doesn't look like he's going to. This could be bad news for the Timbersaw. He's going to Timber Chain up and go for a TP, but he will get arrowed, and he is a goner. Radiant, however, putting a lot of pressure up here. Naga Siren looks like she managed to pick up an Illusion Rune along with her Illusion skill, so they've got a lot of damage going out quickly on this tower. And they will take that tier 2 top. Dire going to pressure this tier 1 bottom again, and they should be able to take it. But Radiant is not stopping. They're continuing to push towards this tier 3 in the top lane. And just to be safe, they're going to use the Naga Siren song and get out. And there is that relic on the Naga Siren, so she is going for Radiance. Should have that pretty quick, only needs about 500 more gold for that. So despite losing the Timbersaw, they did manage to pick up that tier 2 tower top, so not a total loss there. That Timbersaw was worth a lot of money though, and it went to the Mirana, who is serving as the carry for the Dire team right now. She picked up 933 gold for that Timbersaw kill, since he was on a wicked 6 streak. And Timbersaw finishes his Bloodstone right now. Pretty good Bloodstone timing. Let's see how we're looking on the experience and gold charts. Experience, unsurprisingly, an advantage towards the Radiant team. They are up in kills and have been doing very well for themselves, and gold going even further in their favor. And that's not surprising since this Storm Spirit has basically had uncontested farm the entire game. He's up at 130 CS, 50 CS higher than the bottom on the Dire side, and even the Naga Siren, who is playing middle, is higher than the Dire farmer as well. Looks like Dire is trying to make a play for the Storm Spirit possibly, but now they're rotating back towards mid. He used the Priestess of the Moon ult there, so hopefully they'll be able to pick up something with it. Chen gonna go down, and Bane looks like he could be in trouble here. Ooh, dodges the arrow with the Nightmare. Well played by the Bane. TP support coming in, and a mech and a Hand of God, and that will be the end of the Mirana. Storm Spirit getting bursted down very quickly when he jumped in there though. He landed right inside that Disruptor ult as he jumped in. Timbersaw getting glimpsed back, so he will not be able to finish off the Jakiro right now at least. Naga Siren has this Radiance though, that's doing quite a bit of damage. Timbersaw comes all the way back in and does get the Jakiro. Dire really needed to just continue backing there, I think. The Queen of Pain and the Disruptor both turned back towards the Radiant team. Looks like the Furion, Disruptor, and Quap will escape. 2-for-1 trade. So pretty good for the Dire team there, or for the Radiant team there, except that they lost their Storm Spirit, who was their top farmer. But at the same time, Storm Spirit had 0 kills, so even though he is quite fat and doing very well, he didn't give up much gold when he died because he did not have a kill streak or anything going. So that exchange definitely favors Team GG. Arrow coming out from the Marana, scouting through the Roche pit, won't find anyone. And this Naga Siren starting to put some pressure on here, working on the jungle as well as the top lane with that radiance on her illusions. And things could get really tricky here now for Masturbators on the Dire side. She will continue to apply pressure up here in the top lane, wants to keep the creeps going towards that tier 3 and chipping away at it. Nature's Prophet has managed to pick up his mechanism and has picked up a belt of giant strength, or excuse me, Dota 2, just a belt of strength. So he's probably going for the Necronomicon. Storm Spirit just continuing to farm away bottom, nearly has a BKB, only needs about 800 gold for that. Very, very fat Storm Spirit. Let's check out the net worth here. Storm Spirit up at nearly 10,000, and this should be an easy kill on the Marana. No chance to leap away with that Orchid, and Timbersaw will pick up the last hit. They clear this creep wave right up, and this should be a tower for them as well. It's a very nice pick there on the Marana. Masturbators really struggling here. Team GG putting on a lot of pressure with their significant farm advantage. To this point, Masturbators have still only taken 1 tower, while they only have 1 tier 2 remaining for themselves. Naga Siren only got her Radiance just a few minutes ago, and she already has 2,700 gold again, so she's been making good use of it, pushing lanes and clearing out the jungle at the same time. And they may be able to take this tier 2 here as well. And that would be the last outer tower for Masturbators. And they do take it. Things looking very grim here for the Dire team. Team GG doing a good job. Got that early farm advantage and have kept it rolling. This Timbersaw really coming through for him in a big way, giving up that first blood, but racking up 9 kills since then. Really sort of dismantled that Dire tri-lane after giving up that initial kill. Priestess of the Moon being played as the 1 slot on the Dire. She's not a great 1 slot in general because she doesn't have any DPS boosting skills, and she's been forced to go a very defensive Lincoln Sphere first item to try and deal with the single target from the Bane as well as the jump in Orchids from the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit already up to a BKB, and things could be over pretty soon here. Dire team really struggling. Doing great early, took the early kill lead, but just were not able to do a whole lot with it. Didn't see the Naga Siren picked off, but she did get picked off over there in the Dire jungle. Didn't have any support with her. Disruptor ultimate's going out, some spells being exchanged, but nothing else will happen here. The Naga Siren has decided to really go heavy on that split push. Rat Dodos picked up the Boots of Travel following her Radiance. This Blade of Alacrity could be for either a Diffusal Blade or a Manta style. Dire team clustering around the middle now. They may try and take this tier 1, but they're going to have a hard time with it with this Naga Siren coming back up. And this Storm Spirit now has its BKB completed as well as another 1,400 gold, so they do not have anything to deal with him. No ultimates that go through BKB for the Dire side. Naga Siren continuing to pressure top, and it looks like we might have something happen middle here. That arrow connects with creeps, unfortunately. Whole dire team smoked middle, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick anything up with it, and this Storm Spirit is going hard in the middle of their team with this BKB. Jakiro is taken out, a Nightmare on the Queen of Pain. Hand of God, mechs fly out from both teams. Queen of Pain gets glimpsed, or Storm Spirit gets glimpsed back, and the Dire team is forced to retreat up the middle, and they may still get some picked off. There's the Fiend's Grip from the Bane, that should be a dead Furion, and Disruptor turning around pays for it as well. This is most likely going to be a Rax for Team GG. Another arrow connecting with a creep there. And they are going to put the pressure into this Rax. Tier 3 falling pretty quickly, a pipe up now on the Timber Saw, and this could be a dead Marana as well with the Storm Spirit and Bane going in. He will fall, Queen of Pain will fall as well. Macro Pyre to try and do some damage and dissuade them out of the Jakiro, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Naga Siren ultimate, I think she thought that Storm Spirit may have been caught there, and they will actually back out. Even with 2 dead on Masturbators, GG decides to play it safe, backs out without losing anyone, and did about half the damage on that Tier 3 tower in the middle. Naga Siren goes with the Yasha, so she will be going for the Manta style rather than Diffusal Blade. Probably a good choice since she's gone the Radiance, wants to get an item that gives her a little bit of HP to help those Illus stay up and continue doing Radiance damage. GG just really keeping the pressure on and making the most of their lead. Naga Siren and Timbersaw clearing the Dire jungle nearly every time it respawns. Keeping all the lanes pushed in pretty heavily with these Naga Siren Illus and the Boots of Travel and Radiance. Masturbators struggling to find any money here, any sort of comeback mechanism. Storm Spirit going on the Nature's Prophet. A Potom ulti does come out, but with that Orchid he may be dead, and he is. Jakiro going to throw an Ice Path, and they're going to try and take out the Chen here. Mech flying, not enough to keep him up though. Storm Spirit now in the middle of the Dire team with his BKB though. Naga Siren coming in and doing a lot of damage with a Riptide, and Timbersaw flies in from the back. And the Marana will go down as well. I believe that was just a Radiance burn on the Naga Siren Illus. And Naga Siren picking up the Jakiro on the side also, getting a triple kill for herself. Queen of Pain, the only remaining member, and the Dire will call GG. So with that GG call, Team GG are the winners for today, and the throne will fall. Well played by Team GG. I said at the very beginning I was worried for the Dire side letting that Storm free farm when they didn't have a very good hard carry of their own, and in the end GG took a significant farm lead early and managed to keep the pressure on hard and really never let Masturbators get back into the game after those initial 2 kills. Thanks for watching. If you want to see the replays of any of these games, go check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/I'mTheWinningest, the winningest channel on YouTube. And we will see you guys tomorrow, or possibly later this evening, whenever the next amateur cast occurs. Thanks for watching. See you later.